get bad performances, we tell, and when we hear good performances, I will tell, this thing is done really well, that thing is done really well. So, yes.
Bad news always travels faster than good news.
Yes. Seemed like Johnny Cash may have said that in the song.
Steve, can I expound on that just a little bit?
I'm sorry?
Can I expound on it?
Yes, please do.
Just a little bit. I won't take long. In this facility, we don't want to use Carl Medical Center. We no. We need a facility. You don't have to worry about dying when you get admitted there. And also, we need a professional person that knows how to handle PTSD. And I met one such individual in this city, and he was willing to participate if I helped him with the program, and I plan on doing it. I'm the one throwing the rock in the water, making the wave. But I need all the veteran support.
All right, fair enough. 1, 2, 3. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, first of all, I want to thank all the veterans that are present here and that have served our country. I want to thank you as a leader for the work. And what I'm here is because my husband was in the military for 24 years. That's National Guard 3 Army. And it's not until my sons, I really didn't see the depth of the behind the scenes that was happening to the veterans. I was young, too busy taking care of my family. When my sons went to war, they served 5 years. And I started seeing the things that are happening, not because of the things that were happening to other people, but what was happening to me, to my family. I said, what the hell? Where is the war? It's not over there, it's here. So it's over there. I said, but there's a different war here. And I want to say thank you to Richard Graves for bringing this meeting together, because we do need a vet center here. I've been living here 32 years, and there hasn't been such a thing as a vet center, and it needs to be available for the vets. It's good for the vets. Anything that we can do to serve these veterans better is like awesome. Mr. Pierce, do whatever you can to make it possible. Time is running out for a lot of vets. My sons are young, but that doesn't mean that they're not out of the picture. And I've been through the VA. The VA, Mr. Pierce, is not on the good road. This is a shame on the VA. Shame on not having centers ready for PTSD. That is for real. It's not a dream. This is for real. And I see it as a mother. And I wish that veterans would understand that a mother has an inner spirit in her that sees what you see. And I want the help for my sons before it's too late. I would like to see it started now. Listen to these vets. It's already been happening to them. These other young vets will go and say, hey, we see what's happening to these vets. They're older. You're talking about even 90-year-old. And nothing has been done for them. So they see themselves like, hey, I'm going to end up like them. And I said, no, you're not. Because people are fighting back. We're a nation that's fighting back to get back to where we're supposed to be. We've got to give back to the veterans. They're the ones that serve. We've got to do everything we can to help them. So I pray and I request, supplicate, whatever. I'll beg you, please get that vet center for us, please.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks. And you don't have to do any of those things all you have to do is, say, let's work on it together, and that's good enough. I got to urge.
Sir, just to piggyback off what she just said, I lived in El Paso for 6 years. Sylvester Reyes was the representative over there. He put out a newsletter, and you know, they're good and bad on either side. But he put out a newsletter, and I looked for that copy today so I could bring it here, but I couldn't find it. And he said that the VA in El Paso is among the worst in the nation.
Yes, I'm hearing that from Las Cruces. So we hear the story again, and frankly, it is passion like yours, and it is input like yours that fuels my heart for the hard work for veterans, because these bureaucracies are entrenched. Some are good and some are bad. You're hearing good stories and you're hearing bad stories, and the only way we root out the problems is to get down, look at them with a magnifying glass, begin to chip the crustiness off of them, get the barnacles off, and show the service that can be there the way it should be. And so appreciate the passion that you have. Yes, sir.
We got to go.
Okay, thanks.
That guy's got his hand raised over there.
You got, we got 2 here, 3 here. 2, 3.
Just a quick question. I'm a Desert Storm veteran, and I'm also employed with the federal government as we speak. So I know that whenever the federal agencies, if one agency over here owns certain property, this other agency over here deeds this property, that they can just stroke the pen, just transfer properties. Please correct me if I'm wrong. There is a border patrol building over there by the airport that was built a few years ago, and I don't believe it's being used. And I know the principal expense of establishing the clinic would be, of course, purchasing the property and you know, a building, erecting the building. I know it's not designed for a clinic, both with some few dollars and some elbow grease. I could probably convert it over to that. And that would save a lot of money of, you know, securing the property and building and erecting the building. Is that something that we can possibly look at?
It's something I would be happy to look at. We constantly try to figure out ways to not cost the government any money. And frankly, the government rejected that more than they accepted it. You all see the trestle up here at Cloudcroft, don't you? You know the trestle there? It was about to fall down, and so I said, okay, the Forest Service, I went to them and said, you can give us trees. Yeah. I went to the Mescalero Apaches and said, y'all can cut the trees and mill them. You got that mill? And they said, we'd be happy to do it. We like that. I went to New Mexico State and said, you all can do us a design to build this thing, so the design's free, yes. And then I found a group out of New England somewhere that all they did as volunteers, they built trestles. They rebuilt trestles. So I had free labor, free everything. It's not going to cost the government a penny. And they turned us down flat. The lawyers said they didn't want the liability, this and that. So that's the problem we run into. It should be a simple process to simply trade the buildings, but the government makes everything very complex.
I agree.
I've been trying to get, there are facilities up in the northern part of the state that are sitting empty, and trying to get them to give them to the Indian tribes. You remember all those trailers we bought in Katrina? $3 billion worth of trailers? And it was one of the most foolish things we ever did. Well, they couldn't make them except over 5 years, and so those trailers showed up and started stacking up out, because everybody already had a house by the time they started coming in. So I began to request them. We were the first one in the nation. I started getting them for Indian tribes, because tribes are always needing housing. And so we got 30 or 40 or 50 or something, and then they said, no more, you can't get any more. You got thousands of them out there. You got $3 billion worth of them. What's the deal? Well, then they started spraying formaldehyde in them to keep the rats out. And then the lawyers won't let them give away the trailers now even for free. They ended up selling those trailers for like $1,500 to $2,000 a piece, and then they even stopped that. But that's the kind of stuff that you run into with the government. It's a question I would be happy to ask. Would be happy to fight for, because I believe that if we will trust our citizens to put elbow grease in, just like you're saying, let us solve the problem. Let us solve the problem. I think everybody's just tired of the government that's not working. It's not securing the border. It's not creating jobs. It is not able to solve these basic problems. I think people are tired of that, and I think they're ready to stand up and fight.
I think it'd be a wise location, because we're centrally located between Hobbs, Artesia, and Ross.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
It just makes sense. Sometimes that's unfortunate because
You bet.
Washington